Hey guys, Lucas still with Optimum Athletes. I'm here with Nick Mears. Nick is in the Pirates organization, has been training here for about 2 years now.
Yeah.
And well, first of all, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, no problem. Good to be here. I watch all the podcasts anyway, so I thought I'd make a debut on it.
Yeah, I just want to jump into this because you've got a pretty crazy story of how you got to where you are now today, and I'm just gonna kind of let you tell it, and I'll be here to ask some questions. But the floor is yours.
Yeah, so I started off, we'll start off in high school. So high school, I went to Rockland High School, played all 4 years, junior and senior year on varsity. But going into my senior year at high school, I blew my elbow out and had to have Tommy John surgery. But I decided to have it after my senior season because, I mean, in high school, your senior season's, it's like everything to you. So I pitched a season essentially with no ligament in my elbow, topped out at 92 still. And then the next year after I graduated high school, I had the surgery and then ended up going to Sac City, which later found out that was the best decision I ever could have made. So my first year I gray shirted, so I stayed underneath 12 units so that I could kind of postpone my NCAA clock. So I rehabbed my elbow my freshman year of college and kind of didn't take it too seriously at first.
Okay.
And then I later found out that this is kind of my last shot, no matter what happens. So I rehab it, I come back for my second year, and in the fall I get up to 91, 92, I think. So kind of back where I was in high school. And then fall ends, I have a great fall, I'm doing really well. And then 2 days before we report, I thought it was a good idea to go ride a dirt bike out in the snow. And I ended up flipping it and snapped my collarbone in half and had a plate and 7 screws put in my collarbone to kind of reconstruct it. So that was a pretty bonehead move, to say the least. And then, so I missed my second year of college due to injury. So the first 2 years I missed the season due to injury. Come back my third year. I do pretty well in the fall. Go to the Fall World Series. I'm pretty sure I did really good. I don't think I let up a run through like 7 innings of work, which, if you know the Fall World Series at Sac City,
It gets rowdy.
Yeah, it gets rowdy to say the least. So that was a lot of fun. I'll have those memories forever. But going to the third year, I get to play this year because I'm actually healthy for the first time in my college career. I do all right. I kind of walked the house a little bit just because I thought that throwing hard was the end-all be-all, and that's what would get me drafted. But I was mistaken at the time. So we go to the Final Four. We end up losing to Ohlone, and yeah, I don't really like them. Things got pretty rowdy there too. So then season ends my third year of college. I end up going to the Northwoods, and I think I had like a sub-1 ERA through like 29 innings.
Not bad.
Yeah, I think it was like 27-ish innings, but I had like 40-something strikeouts.
I'll play.
I got a little attention from pro scouts, and then decided it would be better if I went back to school and tried to get drafted the next year. So now I'm back at Sac City for my 4th year, and we're in the fall, and I am tearing it up. Nobody can touch me. I'm getting all these letters from pro scouts that are interested in me, and I'm filling out questionnaires left and right. And then at the end of the fall, one of my grandpa figures passed away, and then which sucked, but I could still keep moving forward with the loss. And then 2 weeks later, my uncle ended up taking his life, which kind of compounded the blow of my grandpa. And then about a month later, my other grandpa passes away. And then I think 3 weeks after that, one of my teammates took his life as well. So with all of that stuff going on and where I was in life, I didn't really know how to handle all of that loss at once. I kind of tried to just suppress it and move past it instead of acknowledging my feelings and working through them. So with everything that went on, I wasn't doing my schoolwork. I wasn't doing what I needed to do outside of baseball. I wasn't doing what I needed to do in baseball. So my life was kind of slowly falling apart, and I didn't know how to kind of corral it and get it back together. And it wasn't until I had a meeting with my coaches and my parents, and my coaches actually, Derek Sullivan and Descahe Bomberry, they called my parents without me knowing, and they kind of organized a meeting in Sully's office. And it was then where they told me, like, hey, we love you. We want you to be a part of this group, but from a personal standpoint, we think it would be best if you took time away from baseball and didn't really focus on it. We want you to focus on yourself and find out who you are, which was kind of eye-opening because I never really thought you could do that. I was Nick the baseball player my entire life. Like, family members and friends come up to you and they don't ask you how you are. They ask you, how's baseball going? And it takes a toll, because when you see that people only view you as a baseball player, you don't think that you can be normal and have a normal life. You think that you are only a baseball player, and that's not how you should live life. You should enjoy everything instead of just baseball. And yeah, I mean, our lives revolve around baseball, and they always will, I feel like, but you have to live. Like, if you are only the baseball player, you're only living like half your life, really.
And your happiness is contingent on how you did that day.
Exactly. Like, you'll hear it over and over again, like, once you cross those lines, nothing else matters. But like when you're going onto the field, but it's the same thing as coming off. Like, once you come off that field, nothing that you did on that baseball field matters anymore. You're a person. You have to go out into the real world and do stuff. So I think that they really taught me that. And even though I may have missed out on a lot of money in the draft, it doesn't matter to me, because I mean, it's kind of easy for me to say that now since I debuted this year, but I mean, even like a year ago when I had no idea where I stood in the rankings of our minor leaguers, it was, I don't know how to say this.
Well, it's crazy to like, I think it speaks volumes to who like Bomber and Sully are as people, that, you know, as coaches, your livelihood and being able to put food on your table for your family depends on if you can keep your job, and that depends usually on winning. And knowing that they had a guy that was a draft eligible guy that was probably their best arm in the bullpen, a reliable guy in the eighth, ninth inning to like win games, and to be able to be like, oh yeah, like you as a person and your well-being and your sanity and your life is more important to us than our job. That's cool.
Yeah, and so me and Bomber always had like a good relationship, but there was always tension in it because he knew that I could be more, and I also knew it, but I wasn't willing to put in the work for it. Whereas Sully, me and him really kind of butted heads a lot because he wanted he wanted me to be great. And I didn't know that he wanted that for me. I thought that he was just some dick trying to be an asshole to me the entire time. But once we had that meeting, and even after that, like, we may not talk much, but I will always appreciate what those two men did for me.
Yeah.
Because I think that they really, like, kind of pulled me out of the gutter and, like, you can do this. You have so much opportunity over here, but you're deciding to piss it away over here. So they develop men. They don't just develop baseball players.
Right.
And I don't know. I think that I'm the biggest advocate for JUCO baseball because you don't get handed things.
Yeah.
You don't get more because you have a scholarship compared to the guy that walked on. And it may not always be like that, but I think that's you have to earn your shit at JUCO.
Yeah.
And you can attest to that.
I remember one of the things Bloomy told us at CRC. He said, if you're so good, why are you in my dugout?
Exactly.
Because a lot of guys came in the fall with sort of egos, like, oh, I'm going to be one and done. You know? And it's just like, oh, you're right. Like, I am in a JUCO. And kind of like it's a self-check and be like,
and
all right.
usually the guys that come in like that, they get their shit kicked in.
Yep.
It's either...
Well, you guys have freaking like 100 guys that come out in the fall, and then with a couple weeks later, you're down to 50, and then they make cuts down the road. But it's you gotta earn it. You gotta earn everything that you get. But I mean, that's a lot of loss within a singular month, and to go through something like that, I think can be inspiration for a lot of kids out there. Just like, hey, everyone's gonna have hardships in their life. Like,
there's always light at the end of the tunnel. You may not see it right now, but just know that you're not alone. Rely on your friends and family because that's the biggest thing. Like,
having something there for you.
Yeah, they're there for you. If you think they are or not, but they're there for you.
Yeah. Well, that's like, I mean, you said you didn't really fully know what Sully's like intentions were, but to have the meeting like that to kind of show you like, hey, like you're important to us. We care about you as a person. That's cool. Yeah, always like lean on your friends and family. We're almost out of time, but just to kind of sum up after that.
Yeah. So after I stepped away from baseball, I was still enrolled in classes, and one of our assistant coaches, Bo Henning, was coaching out in the Northwoods again on the same team that I played the previous year. And so I went out there again. I let up one run, and then I had a postseason appearance. Our starter went like 2 innings, I think, gave up 7 runs.
Sheesh.
Yeah, and then I came in for 3 innings of work, and I struck out 9 and sat, I think, 95, 97. Didn't hear anything until I came back from Minnesota, but right once I got back, I think I was home for 2 days.
Yeah.
I got phone calls from 8 different teams, and I decided to go with the Pittsburgh Pirates. And then I went to short season, played 2 weeks there, had 3 appearances, then came back for spring training, gained 30 pounds. Instead of me being 93 to 96, I was 96, 98, touching 100. And then started out in low A full season, got my way to double A in the same year, then went to the fall league, didn't let up a run through 8 innings against like the best prospects in baseball, which ended up getting me an invite to big league spring training last year. And then COVID happened. I went to the alternate training site, and through one way or another, I ended up debuting against the Detroit Tigers, and my first at bat might have been the craziest first at bat of anybody in the world. I faced a Triple Crown winner, Miguel Cabrera. I go 2-0 to him on 2 fastballs up in the zone. On the third one, he pops it up to shallow right field foul. And I think our first baseman was running backwards towards it, and Gregory Polanco was coming in from right. And Polanco just absolutely nails him with his elbow and breaks his jaw, knocks the dude out completely. And I'm just standing on the mound, like, everybody's down in the corner. I'm like, what do I do? Like,
debut here.
Yeah, I'm the only one on the field anymore looking like an idiot. So I start walking towards him to kind of get an ETA and see what's wrong, being a good teammate. And the umpire yells at me. He's like, Nick, can't do that. Can't do that. So I was like, where the hell am I supposed to go?
Yeah.
So I walk over to the Tigers third base coach and I start talking with the opposing team third base coach when I'm trying to strike their guys out.
Yeah.
So it was...
You got the nerves of an MLB debut. You're facing one of the best hitters of all time. 3 pitches in, all of a sudden you got to sit there and wait 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah, so now I'm cold again and then... But,
and we're resuming. Go back out there and pitch again.
Yeah, that's the only thing I remember from that was the umpire yelling at me. Other than that, I don't remember a thing from that outing.
Really?
Blacked out. So I usually take a scoop of pre-workout before I go in to pump myself up. Bad idea. Bad idea. I don't think my heart rate dropped below 200 for about 30 minutes. So that's healthy. But yeah, that's kind of my story.
Yeah, it's a crazy one. You've been through it. You've obviously had some talent, but then obviously have put in the work to develop that talent. And, you know, seeing you train here for about 2 years, seeing you go much of your work is definitely like, you know, it's a big league mentality.
Thank you. Thank you. That means a lot to me. I pride myself on my work ethic, and hopefully those around me take hold and do it too.
It's cool too. Like, you know, you and I think we have a pretty good culture here, but a lot of the other guys, well, obviously you guys get your work done, but then stick around or help a high school kid with this, or it's cool. It's a cool thing that obviously you guys are setting the standard and you guys are leading from the front. But it's been fun. It's been fun to watch you work. It's been fun to see you debut this year.
Thank you.
You had a couple other outings too.
Yeah.
And you know, expect to be on the Pirates here going forward. The big league club.
I'm excited.
And, you know, thanks for telling your story.
Yeah, no problem.
But thanks for coming on, bro.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
No problem.
Yes, sir.